Exclamation, everybody, and welcome back to Sorcery, and we're picking up where we left off, beyond Buratati. We've gone through the mountains, we have stolen from giants and killed a giant along the way. Now it is time to see what lies beyond all of this. You rise early. As you gather your things, Jan leaps up and onto your shoulder. Ready to go? He chirps. You head downstairs and out of the inn, noting on the way that the girl who let you in is now sitting quietly in a chair while her parents clean and prepare a breakfast of baked bread. You head outside and follow the path to the far side of Birattanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani. There's no other T in there. Torapani today, the last village in the Shamantanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, leading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Ask Jan his advice. Which way, Jan? Make yourself useful if you can. To the right is a forest. To the left, the going is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani. What else do you know? What else do you know, you demand suspiciously. Nothing, protests the creature, and that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know. You'll get no more from the creature. With Torapani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. Alright. Go right or go left? Let's zoom out a little bit here. There we go. Very good. Wow, it's getting a good look at the map here. Let's go left. We go left, you decide. Good choice, Jan replies. The path slopes gently downwards through shrubbery forest and across patches of dry, weary earth. The Shamantanti Hills are relatively verdant compared to the backlands beyond the Jobji River, and you can see the influence of that desolation already creeping into the soil, like a spreading infection. Then as you crest a rise, a powerful, pleasant smell reaches your nostrils, and you see off to your right a path through a field of beautiful black flowers. I don't know, I'm kind of using my knowledge of the Wizard of Oz, I'm kind of worried about a field of flowers, and especially sweet-smelling ones. But let's just go on through the field. Shaking off your unease, you head onward into the field of curling black flowers. The smell of their blossoms gets sweeter as you move further in. It makes you feel giddy and light-headed. You start to skip and jump with merriment, and Jan is likewise full of glee. Your head is swimming. Oh boy. Probably should turn back quickly. You consider turning back, but when you turn, it is only to turn about on the spot and throw your hands up to the sky, which is a wonderful shade of blue. Dancer, keep going. Let's keep going. You push forwards through the flowers, but quickly break out into a run before hurling yourself headlong into the blooms. Jan begins to fly around your head in fast circles, making you feel even more disoriented. Dance or eat the flowers. Dance, I guess. Everything, the air, the smell, the movement, the velvet color, makes you want to dance. You throw down your possessions and unfasten your cumbersome sword so you can move more freely. Then your hand hits something hard. It is a skeleton. He has blossoms between his bare jaws and more blossoms clasped in his bone grip. All right, let's do that again. He bears no injuries, but there is not a scrap of skin on him. It seems he came here and simply would not leave. Yes, time to leave then. You lie back amongst the blossoms. Go. You gather a few flowers and squeeze the sap from them as droplets into your eyes. So I keep saying go, but it keeps keeping me here. I guess if I do the opposite and say stay. Yep, nope. You stretch out, inhaling deeply the black lotus's soulful aroma. The Black Death fills you with such a joy that all your troubles are forgotten as you slip into a deep, wonderful sleep. Oh boy. Alright. Your remains will nurture these deadly flowers. Okay, so we're gonna have to go back the way we came. Rewind. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. Choose a path. Let's review the map. And let us go right this time. We go right, you decide. Then be on your guard, Jan warns you. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin, the view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Kare on the northern horizon. Keep going. You decide not to stop to eat, but push on. Jan is in a talkative mood and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see and how things smell, and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune at Kare. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop! Stop now. Why? Because, insists the creature in a tiny voice, because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me, whispers a voice. I know it. Answer? I see nothing, you call back. You are quite safe. It is not I who is not safe, returns the voice. Alright, prepare to fight. You have a moment to draw your sword before the tall, dark figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. Alright, let's fight him. With our low stamina. You bring your sword up to bear. Let's defend for a moment. And he also defend it. The assassin bows to you, raises his curved sword in salute, and then takes his position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The assassin is perhaps the most fearsome opponent you have so far encountered. He covers himself as well. He's got more stamina than me, too. Eesh. Probably should have stopped to eat. Alright. Let's do a little side swipe. Go. Time to attack. You sting with your blade low and fast, saving your energy. But the impact clangs against his turned sword. He grins. He is left breathless but otherwise unharmed. Alright, well, let's do a little cut then. The trees watch as the battle unfolds. Relentlessly, you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You swing your sword fast in towards his chest, but the blow jumps back off his hilt of his blade. He grimaces with effort. He is bruised but not seriously hurt. Closing his eyes, the assassin murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance. Oh boy. Let's defend. Yeah, that was a good idea. You drop yourself into a crouch as he powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. All right, let's go for a bit more gusto here. Acting quickly, you rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the impact clangs against his weapon. He smiles. He is battered but ready to come back stronger. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, the assassin says, in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. Let's defend. You whip up your defenses as he tries a deep slice, but you roll out of the way, mostly unhurt. The assassin laughs appreciatively. He spins his sword about to shift the sword across his body. Huh, okay. Let's do another big thrust here. Sweet. Leaping into action, you swing a masterful swipe, but the blow you land is only minor because the assassin has adjusted his stance swiftly. Blood drips from the assassin's tunic. He curses under his breath. "You will die out here," he tells you, his tone like ice. Now let's defend again. Good. You ready yourself to block as he attempts a heavy cut, but you duck, mostly unharmed. He nods to you wisely. The assassin swivels his grip. The weapon sings as it moves. Let's try another big one here. There we go. Feinting left, you drive forward with a deep, heavy blow. But his own move is fast and careful, and he's able to parry. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. Gasps. I can never say that word. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. "I can guarantee you a simple death," the assassin declares. His eyes are merciless. Defend. You duck down into a low stance as he issues a roundhouse incision, but you dive to one side, mostly unhurt. You are weakening. This fight is becoming serious. The assassin flicks the blade through the air, crouching as he moves. Alright, let's finish this bastard off. There we go. Time to attack. You sweep a masterful slash. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. "I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten," he groans. "You may finish me if you so choose, but if you do me an honor and use my own blade." 4 stamina lost. Rough going. Well, that was pretty good, though, I would say, considering that I had very little stamina to begin with. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor gasping. Spare him. "Then get up," you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods and sheaths his own blade. "You are a worthy victor. I am glad to meet you. Now you have saved me, you own me, in parts. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and a thief." "Why did you attack me?" "It is a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and in killing. I assumed you would be no match, especially when I saw your pet." He points briefly at the Minimite, who is currently hiding under a fold in your tunic. "But I see I was wrong." He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. "You are traveling to Carre?" "You are traveling to Carre?" he asks. Yes. "I go that way as well. I will not travel with you, but once you are there, perhaps I will see you. If so, I will not forget the debt I owe you." I will remember you there. He bows his head again. This time, it is definitely from pain. "Go," he hisses. "You cannot aid me." Can I help him? Do I have something to help him with? "No," you reply. "I have caused your wounds. I will help you." He grins with gritted teeth. "Are you a doctor? I do not think you are." Let's bind his wounds. Tearing strips of dark fabric from his clothing, you bind his wounds tightly, and the bleeding lessens. "You are too kind of a man who was about to kill you." "You are too kind to a man who was about to kill you," he murmurs. "Let that be your lesson," you reply, as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have a sense that you have made a powerful friend. And I could use a powerful friend. Review the map. Alright, before we go much further, let us use some rations here. Go to items and rations. Eat. There we go. Up to 5 stamina. We're going to need to find a means of sleeping somewhere along the way. But let's leave the trees now. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Mennonite on your shoulder asks. I am hungry and tired. We have gone such a long way. Not much further. The Mennonite sighs and slumps onto your shoulder. You continue along the path and around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is set on a splayed struts like an insect straddling the water course. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. Greet the woman? Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you. Okay. I get the feeling that this is some kind of witch's hut, but I could use a place to stay, so let's just see what happens. You approach the old woman. She smiles with a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own, away from the villages. All right, go inside. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one. Yeah, she's probably a witch. More than likely. Make conversation. The tea is still hot. You cup it between your hands as you speak. What's your name? They call me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You nod, but you have never heard of her. Why do you live alone? Why do you live alone? It must be more dangerous. Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? You smile and nod. This is a beautiful place, you remark, watching the river outside the door plunging away from the cliff face. This is the top of the crystal waterfall, she says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck, she giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly, I've forgotten the pot. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Drink my tea or switch cups with her, or make a run for it. Is this one of those? I feel like this is the scene from Princess Bride where he's like, they're switching cups, and it turns out that both cups were poisoned, but he had built up an immunity to it, so it didn't matter. Let's switch cups with her. Huh. Yep, that's exactly what it was. While she was away from the table, you switch the 2 cups around. Then when she returns, you lift the one closest to you and drink. A sudden, deep pain grips your stomach, and you double over. You wince and cough as you find yourself seizing up. Oh, suspicious stranger, laughs the woman. I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft. I should have just drank the one that she gave me. Well, that sucks. Please release me. You try to shout out, but you are paralyzed and quite powerless. The old woman begins to search through your bag. Jan flits about in some distress, unsure what to do. Then, with a coo of delight, she pulls out the spellbook page you were given by the old man in the tree. My book, she cries. The missing page. Why didn't you tell me you had my missing spell? She scurries off into the kitchen and returns with a cup of liquid, which she pours into your half-open mouth while clucking and stroking your head. It is an antidote, and you feel your body slowly unfreeze. Finally, she slaps you to bring you around. What is the spell? What is the spell, you ask? It is a spell of pest repulsion. You have no idea how useful it is around here. She shakes her head. 4 days ago I was visited by a traveler such as yourself. But when I was away making my tea as I always do, he started leafing through my book and tore out a page. He must have been a wizard of power because he vanished almost too fast for me to curse him. What curse did you cast? Well, you saw him, she replies. I aged him. Didn't stop him escaping, though. She fusses with the page, repairing her spellbook with some gentle magic. Shall I show you how useful the spell is, she says. How about no? No, you shake your head. I've had enough of your magic. Oh, you poor thing, she clucks. I'm sorry about the tea. It's just a habit. You're sure you don't want me to rid you of a pest? And you realize she's looking at Jan. I'll keep him. Really? She looks surprised, but then shrugs and slams shut her book. Well, it's your cat's funeral, as they say in Carre. She gets to her feet. You'd best be going. Yes, I would. Jan hops onto your shoulder, whispering profuse thanks into your ear, and you leave. Well, that ended a lot better than I thought it would. All because of that torn page thing, because I helped that guy out. Wow, that's amazing. That was a while ago too. Holy crap. It was like the first encounter I had out here. Alright, and speaking of the first encounter I've had out here, that will be the end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.